What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing my final video on the 2021-2022 season. Does mean we're doing a season review. Before I crack on with this video though, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, want to help support my channel, then do subscribe. We have got daily Manchester City transfer updates coming from June 1st for you guys to stay up to date every single day with the latest Manchester City transfer news first and fast on YouTube. Make sure you have subscribed, you don't want to miss it. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries, leave a thumbs up as well if you do enjoy this video. 100 likes once more is the aim. And most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including rating Manchester City's season out of 10 and why in the comments below. Let's crack on then with this video. We're going to start off first by speaking about the first trophy that was on offer to Manchester City right back in August, and that was the Community Shield at Wembley. Manchester City faced Leicester City, and thanks to an 89th minute winner from Leicester City, Manchester City lost that game by 1-0. So Community Shield performance, I'm giving it a 0 out of 10 for Manchester City. One job: win that game. We didn't do it. We didn't have. We had quite a few players missing due to international duty and players still being on holiday. However, I did think Manchester City still had enough quality to go out there and win this game. We didn't turn up. We didn't play particularly well, and we lost. And considering we're Premier League champions, disappointed with that. I just feel like the Community Shield really sets you up nicely for the season. Gets a little bit of silverware, albeit it's not a major piece of silverware, but it sets you up with a little bit of silverware, gets that winning mentality going, gets you off to a good start with a win as well, and then you can really kick on from there. And it didn't happen, so 0 out of 10 there for me, and pretty disappointing. Now moving on, the domestic cup, the first domestic cup that gets put on offer to you is the Carabao Cup. Manchester City, kings of the Carabao, love the Carabao Cup. Started off in the third round with a massive 6-1 victory at home to Wycombe Wanderers. We got drawn in a difficult match against West Ham United at the London Stadium away from home. We drew that game 0-0. It's not the worst of results, however, with there being no extra time, it does go straight to penalties, and I think this season demonstrated to Manchester City that penalties can be a lottery, and it's very difficult to be able to win penalty shootouts. And in the end, West Ham ended up winning that game, scoring all their penalties and winning by 5-3 on the penalty shootout. And Manchester City went out in the fourth round, which is a pretty disappointing start to the season in terms of domestic success. So I've awarded City a 4 out of 10 because 6-1 victory at home and 0-0 against West Ham isn't the worst of results. However, we did go out, we didn't progress any further, and in the end we didn't win the trophy. We didn't get close to winning the trophy, so just a 4 out of 10. Now moving on to the next domestic trophy that's put on offer, and that is the FA Cup. City started that in the third round with an away victory against Swindon Town, winning by 4-1. Fair. We played Fulham at home. We won that game by 4-1, which I had the pleasure of going into hospitality into the Tunnel Club for that game. Again, fair result, good result there for Manchester City. Progressed us to the fifth round. We played Peterborough United away from home, and we won that game by 2-0. Again, pretty good results, job done. Moving on to the quarter-finals where we took on Southampton away. A very tricky game. It reminded me a lot of the West Ham away game in the Carabao Cup. A tricky away game, and City had learnt their lessons and really got into their flow by March. And we ended up beating Southampton away from home by 4-1, which sent us to Wembley for an FA Cup showdown in the semi-final against Liverpool. Really excited for that, and due to the fixture congestion we had at the time, particularly with the Champions League, it was sandwiched between two games against Atletico Madrid. All the energy had just been drained away from Manchester City, so City decided to rotate after that Atletico game, and we ended up losing to Liverpool 3-2. First half inept from Manchester City. We did do much better in the second half, but we just took too long to get going. There was too many sloppy mistakes, like Stefan getting tackled by Sadio Mane in his own 6-yard area and the ball just going into the back of the net. It was a very bitter very disappointing way to end our campaign. Now, an FA Cup semi-final is not too bad. It would be very nice for Manchester City to start kicking on from FA Cup semi-finals, though, because we seem to just get to the semi-final, rotate, and go out when we come up against teams that are very good, like Liverpool. We've done it against Arsenal, we've done it against Chelsea as well, and it'd just be nice to get to an FA Cup final and have a full-strength team out there for the semi-final when we're going up against these this next-level sides, the top 6 sides, and again, we just seem to have made the same mistake as last season, which to me is very disappointing. So I've given the FA Cup just a 6.5 out of 10, even though we've got to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Now, the Champions League, we'll start with the group stages. Manchester City started their campaign with a 6-3 victory, a very entertaining game against Leipzig, which we won by 6-3. Then we went away to Paris, lost to PSG 2-0, followed that up with games against Brugge away, and then at home we won away 5-1, won at home 4-1, put us in a strong position, 9 points after 4 games. We beat PSG, secured top spot, 2-1. We beat them at the Etihad, meant Manchester City qualified in first place. So a rotated team went out and lost against Leipzig. I'm starting to suggest to you that Manchester City's rotated team, not overrated, but because they're not playing too many games, just isn't as fluent as when we're going up against a team that are fluent, and we struggle. So yeah, there is that. But City finished in first place in the group. It's job done. Difficult group with PSG there. Leipzig can cause problems. Brugge can cause problems. Job done there from Manchester City. We played Sporting Club de Portugal in the last 16, away from home, 5-0, job done. We're going through to the quarter-finals. Game rotated team comes out, we don't beat them in the Etihad, it finishes 0-0, but we're keeping clean sheet, so that's good. We then get to the quarter-finals. We've been drawn against Atletico Madrid. We face them at home first. It's always difficult when you're at home first and away second leg. I'd rather be at home second leg than in the first leg, but we got the job done again at the Etihad, winning by 1-0. We get to Atletico. We were given a scare, but we managed to hold on and get a 0-0 there. So that's 4 consecutive clean sheets by Manchester City in the Champions League knockout phases, and it sends us through an aggregate 1-0. We then face Real Madrid in the semi-final at the Etihad. We probably should have been scoring maybe 5 or 6. Certainly shouldn't have been conceding 3, and I felt like that semi-final, the game and the tie should probably already been sorted at the Etihad, but we still managed to get a victory 4-3. We've got work to do at the Bernabeu, but I was confident we could get that done, and considering we went 1-0 up away from home a week later, away against Real Madrid, we all thought that it was job done. Manchester City ahead from the second minute right through in the first leg to the second leg. We was ahead up until the 91st minute, which is very hard to take from a City fan's point of view, that we ended up going out of the Champions League, losing 3-1 after extra time against Real Madrid, thanks to 2 goals in 2 minutes from Real Madrid and Rodrigo. Manchester City just got sucker punched, and we took the players off and everything. There's big lessons to be learnt there from Manchester City. Also got to the final last year. We wanted progress this year. We got to the semi-final. It's a good season, but considering we should have gone through, just made everything very disappointing. And the fact that we conceded 6 goals over 2 legs against Real Madrid after keeping clean sheets in the last 16 and in the quarter-final, in particular against Atletico Madrid, who are a very good team. Just wasn't paving right for Manchester City. So I'm giving our Champions League campaign 7 out of 10. So Premier League, I can't not give the Premier League a 10 out of 10 because we've won the Premier League. We did start very disappointing with a 1-0 loss away against Tottenham Hotspur. Fresh from that Community Shield defeat as well, wasn't a great start to the season. We did follow that though with 10 goals in our next 2 games. 5-0 victory at home against Norwich and a 5-0 victory against Arsenal at home as well. We come after the international break, we beat Leicester City away by 1-0. We then have a very disappointing result against Southampton where we drew 0-0 at home. We then went up against Chelsea and followed that up with a 1-0 victory away from home. Welcome to Manchester City, draw at home to Southampton but beat Chelsea away from home. We then faced Liverpool away at Anfield again. Felt we should have beat them, but we did draw 2-2, and in the end them 2-2 results against Liverpool proved crucial in the title race, and neither team getting an advantage over each other. We beat Burnley by 2-0 as well at home. We then went away to Brighton, beat them by 4-1, and then we faced Crystal Palace. Lost at home. We get really good results, then we just follow them up with poor results. We just got off to a very stuttery start to the season. Lost at home 2-0 to Crystal Palace. We then went away against Manchester United. surprise, we've got a good result, 2-0 victory. Everton at home beat them 3-0 as well when we came back after the international break in November, and then beat West Ham at home by 2-1. Took us into December, the busy December months, and we end up beating Aston Villa away from home 2-1. Watford away from home we won 3-1. We beat Wolves 1-0 at home. We beat Leeds at home 7-0. Newcastle away 4-0. Boxing Day beating Leicester City 6-3 at home, and we beat Brentford by 1-0 as well. Excellent December. We had an excellent December in the previous season. It was pivotal in us winning the Premier League, and it's pivotal in us winning the Premier League this season as well with an excellent December. We then followed that up in 2022 New Year's Day, beat Arsenal by 2-1 away from home, beat Chelsea 1-0 as well at home, and then surprise, Southampton away, we dropped points, finishing 1-1. Welcome to Manchester City. Into February, we beat Brentford at home 2-0 in the Premier League, followed that up with a good 4-0 victory away from home against Norwich City. Then we went up against Tottenham Hotspur, who did the double over us, lost 3-2 at home against Spurs. Again, like I said, just 2 or 3 victories in a row, drop points. 2 or 3 victories in a row, drop points. 2 or 3 victories in a row, drop points. And that's been Manchester City's season, really, right up until the end. Everton, we beat them away from home 1-0. Rodri, I like that banner someone's had made of the handball that never was, that had to be an apology made. I mean, there's no guarantees Everton would have scored that penalty, but there we go. Followed up with a victory in the Manchester Derby in March by 4-1 against Manchester United. We then faced Crystal Palace and drew 0-0. Surprise. We seem to just be picking up bad results against Southampton, against Crystal Palace, against Tottenham Hotspur, and not beating Liverpool. It's the same teams. There's a pattern here. Southampton, we beat them in the FA Cup at the end of March, took us into the international break, and then we came back fresh, ready for a push in the Premier League and Champions League, and of course the semi-final at the FA Cup. We beat Burnley away from home 2-0, followed that up with a 2-2 victory against Liverpool. Should have beaten them. That Mahrez chip right at the end. I was cursing that when we were losing against Aston Villa, just thinking to myself, if only we'd beaten Liverpool that day. Didn't happen. Should have beaten them, but we didn't. 2-2 once more. We followed up with a 3-0 victory against Brighton in the Premier League at home. We beat Watford 5-1 in the Premier League as well. Then we beat Leeds United in a decent result away from home that was sandwiched between them 2 games against Real Madrid. We went out against Real Madrid and we came back fighting in the Premier League, scoring 10 goals in 2 games once more, beating Newcastle at home 5-0 and Wolves away 5-1 in 2 excellent victories which saw our goal difference overtake Liverpool and put pressure onto them. And then West Ham came out of nowhere. We beat West Ham earlier in the season. Yeah, like I said, it's always the same teams we've dropped points against in both games in the season. Well, West Ham we beat and then drew away from home 2-2. Missed that penalty again, cursing that missed penalty. Mahrez once more with the missed penalty. I'm not blaming Mahrez, but yeah, could easily have lost that game and it could have been a disaster, but in the end 2-2. And that point there was the point that won Manchester City the Premier League in the end. And then the final game, 3-2 Manchester City, 2-0 down until the 76th minute, and then 3 goals in 5 minutes between the 76th and the 81st minute, so Manchester City win 3-2 and win the Premier League. To me, Premier League, 10 out of 10. It's always a 10 out of 10 season when you do win the Premier League, so we'll take that every single day of the week. And yeah, it's been a good campaign for Manchester City in the Premier League. Winning the Premier League is always what the aim has to be. When you're going up against a class team like Liverpool doing a title race as well with us, you know, it's going to take something magical to win the Premier League. It's going to take a high points tally once more, and we've done it again, beating Liverpool to the Premier League by just 1 point, and this has been happening now, this little battle, since January. Incredible, and that December period was pivotal for Manchester City. We finished on 93 points, which is an excellent return. Liverpool on 92 points saw us win the Premier League, and we've won 1 more game than Liverpool. 29 games we've won in total out of 38, which is excellent. Premier League, 10 out of 10. Overall for Manchester City, we've had a good campaign. There's no such thing as a bad campaign when you win the Premier League, so I'm giving City an overall performance of an 8 out of 10 for winning the Premier League. It would be nice to have a domestic trophy or 2 on top of that. We were pretty disappointed in the Carabao Cup, and the rotation in the FA Cup meant that wasn't to be, and then obviously the Champions League should have been in the final we'll never know what would happen instead. And I'm hoping that final is tonight. Real Madrid will stop Liverpool from doing a treble, and they will only have 2 domestic trophies to show, and that takes Liverpool's season from being an excellent season. If they win the Champions League tonight, you could argue it's going to be an outstanding season for them. Could have been, if Man City hadn't beaten Aston Villa on the final day, could have been for Liverpool the best season ever that could never be topped. However, City have stopped that from happening, so I think all fans from everywhere should be pretty thankful for Manchester City for getting that job done. So yeah, I'm hoping Real Madrid will beat Liverpool, and that will take them from an excellent season just a good season. You got to the final of the Champions League, you finished second in the Premier League, the 2 major trophies they didn't win, but they did go on to win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Makes it a good season for them rather than an excellent season. But for Manchester City, it's been a very good season. I'm giving them an 8 out of 10 for the overall performance across all competitions for this season, and I cannot wait now for the 2022-2023 season. Why? Got 2 strikers, very excited young prospect Julian Alvarez, and we've got one of the most exciting prospects in the world in Erling Haaland lining up front for Manchester City. It means gold. It means we have the potential to go back to 2018 when we were playing 2 up top with Aguero and Jesus, and it worked so well. City were just blitzing teams apart, scoring goals after goals. Keep Alvarez and Haaland fit. We've got the potential to do that once more, and that excites me, everybody. So there we go, that's been my season review. What are you rating Manchester City's season out of 10? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video. 100 likes once more is the aim. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Like I said, I am aiming now for 25k subscribers. We're less than 1,200 subscribers away from that goal, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. We've got daily Manchester City transfer content coming for you guys from June 1st with daily Manchester City transfer updates, so make sure you have subscribed to stay up to date and in the loop every single day, first and fast on YouTube with the latest Manchester City transfer news. And also social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. And that's the end of the 2021-2022 season, and I'm happy to say City won the Premier League, and the last thing that Fernandinho ever did for Manchester City was lift the Premier League trophy. So obrigado to Fernandinho, and a farewell to him as well, as Manchester City are going to look to freshen up their squad. So I'm looking forward to them transfer updates and really push on for the 2022-2023 season. Is that the season that City finally do what we've been aiming to try and do now for a very long time? Can we finally win the Champions League? I hope so. I'll see you then for the journey with live watch-alongs and plenty of content to come throughout next season. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.